Hey, good afternoon, Facebook. Hey, how's everybody going out there? How's it going? How's your day? Hoping that you're having a great time. Hey, look, you know who this is. It's Dr. J. Will with the Elite on the Street. Don't worry, don't worry, don't worry. I have a special guest with me today. Me and this young lady, we have done many programs and projects together, but we've never had the opportunity or never took the opportunity to do a program in Colorado. So now we are here in Colorado. I finally pulled the reins and held her down, and she's in the studio today. That's none other than Grand Master Chaplain Karen Eaton Herdman. So, I like to shout out to all the people who are watching. Thank you guys. Thank you right now for tuning in, and that's everybody that's going to tune in. Appreciate you today. Listen, we're going to hit a little, not little, but we're going to hit a subject that's kind of touchy, but I want her to be able to express and tell it like it is. We're going to talk about some things that I hope that we get some support with, like I say all the time, we talk about Afghanistan and Kuwait and all those people over there. But there's some things happening right here in the United States of America that we can help. You will know where your funds are going to. And I'm not going to go any further. But without any further ado, I want to introduce to you, to some and present to others, Miss Karen Eaton Herdman. I didn't want to mess her name up. Y'all know I didn't want to mess her name up. So now, it's her turn. I'm going to mess with her the whole time. Make sure she mess up. Now, go ahead. Tell us a little bit about yourself, Karen. I mean, what makes you rumble? What makes you rumble?
Okay, well, let's see. I always say when someone says, tell me a little bit about yourself, how far do you want me to go back?
Go. Just go. Just go.
Okay. I often talk about my ancestry because I know that I'm very mysterious with people. I actually have 4 documented nationalities.
Wow.
And my ancestry comes from kings and chiefs and warriors and holy people all over the world. And
wow.
That's why, that's more why people don't want to make me mad, because my blood does boil.
Hey, I heard her background resume when we were in South Carolina. But go ahead.
Okay. I'm a writer, speaker, teacher, and I call myself a special ops minister. I am a chaplain.
Okay.
I work mainly in deliverance ministries, and being a Pentecostal boy, I know you know what that is.
Ma'am. Yes,
but a
ma'am.
lot of people don't know, and I probably won't get into it too much, but it's frontline battle against evil.
Yes, it is.
And that's the type of work that I've been called into. I believe everybody who is of faith is called into ministry in some way. Everybody. Right. I don't care who it is. True. And so I know what mine is, and I know who I am, and I know what God has called me to do. And as you can see, I'm a very spiritual person. Should you talk now, or you want me to keep going?
No, I want you to keep going.
Because, I'll just take over.
You just go take over. Hey, listen, she worked in the industry of the news reporter and all that. Were you a weather girl?
I was a feature reporter and weather anchor. Yes, for a long time.
See, y'all thought I didn't know that, didn't you? Y'all thought I didn't know that. So yeah. I'm gonna let her. I'm interested.
You go get a shower, John.
Yeah, I'll be back. So she's.
Yeah, that's right. So I always think some people only have one passion, and I have many passions. And I also am a high-ranked female martial artist. I do have the rank of Grand Master, which is very rare in our industry in hand-to-hand combat, which is what I do. Tang Soo Do is Korean military hand-to-hand combat. That took 30 years. Wow. So trust me, I went through every single stage of it, every rank. Wow. It was not a give me in any way, shape, or form. I'm very honored with that, but I also use that for ministry work. I go into tribal areas. I'm also heavy Native American, and I do help with the missing and murdered Indigenous women causes, which I know that you're going to let me talk about.
Yes, that's the meat of the what I want to get to. But back up, because I know in South Carolina I was privileged to be on the board when you were getting your Grand Master, but you came in with a something I had never seen before. You was walking really slow to make sure it didn't fall apart.
Yes.
You're, what is it, 200 years old?
That is my family kimono that has what we call the kaimans on it. So I'm Asian, Native American. I'm everything. Listen, just if you want to know, I have it all. But my mother's from Tokyo, and the ancestral line in her family is shogunate. It goes back to the house of Shogun under Oda Nobunaga. So my 2 times I'm shogunate, but on that side was Oda Nobunaga. And I have the kimono with the kaimans that represent Oda Nobunaga, and I was very honored to be able to wear that kimono to receive the rank of Grand Master. I'm the only one in the family who has been trained and has took up martial arts since, I believe, my ancestor, Yamanaka, which was back in the times of Oda Nobunaga. So I'm the first, and I am a female. So that was very rare and unusual. So I wanted to wear my family kimono for that incident.
That you had to be there to see. I mean, I didn't even want to shake her hand because I didn't want anything to fall off. I didn't want to be blamed. Okay, I didn't want to be blamed.
Right,
but
you
feel free. Go ahead.
Well, yeah, and to be able to get that belt, that Grandmaster belt with that kimono on, really meant a lot. And I hope that my ancestors are very pleased with me. And not just what I can do physically with my rank, but with my heart and what I try to do with the cause of having that. I mean, so many times, not just a kimono, but even with Native American artifacts, people think it's cool and they put them in a box under their bed. But, when your ancestors give you something like that, you really have an obligation to be the storyteller, as we say in Native America, and tell the story of how they suffered and how their love got you here, which is how I put it. Right. And so I do have an obligation, and not only do I speak a lot on behalf of the martial arts industry because I am a high-ranked female, but I also am a Native American educator, and I do a lot of talks about Native American tribes, the different tribes and their different journeys. People don't know the history behind who was here before the European settlement, and it's very rare that people talk about it, and it's going away, and I want their story to be told. Right. So I do my job on behalf of those ancestors to make sure that I am the storyteller and get their message across on how they were here and what their purpose was and how they lived their lives. So I have more. I mean, I have 4 books out.
Speaking of the books, I'll bring it back when we go to break because we're going to do something special in just a few minutes, and I'll bring back a book that Grandmaster Karen sells to help raise money for the girls and
missing and murdered indigenous,
missing, murdered, and indigenous girls for the tribe that's missing, and you're a big part of that, right?
I
helping in that.
Yeah, I help out now. Missing and Murdered Indigenous is a whole organization. The way that I help them out is I do go into tribal areas and I teach self-defense to Native American sisters, and that's just my way of helping out. It's a situation which a lot of people don't know about, and people are very shocked to see that the Native American women in this country are literally just falling off the face of the earth, and nobody knows what's happening to them. Wow. You can Google it. They've been missing for years by thousands, ages 12 to probably mid-30s, and we think maybe they were getting put in a sex trade. We don't know. But in my position as a high-ranked Native American martial artist, I will actually go in. I've worked with Chamawa School. I've worked with the Pawnee Nation. I just got back not too long ago from the Lumbee tribe in North Carolina, and I will go in and teach self-defense to these women, and that's just the perfect way that God put it together that I can help them.
Because you travel a lot. We were just together not long ago. We're in Vegas, and we were scheduled to be in Houston, Texas on the 1st, but just so happened both of our schedules are just too messed up to do that. We were over in, I think, Houston before. Right. A few months ago, and then before that, we were in South Carolina.
I run into you a lot, brother, across the country.
But you notice, I didn't say Colorado, did I? I didn't
That's
say Colorado.
The joke.
And we live in Colorado, y'all.
That's the running joke.
I named all those, and we were in Colorado, and this is our first time doing a show together in Colorado.
That's the irony of it. Like, I see him everywhere else in the country, but where we're from. So I said, you know what, I'm coming down. Let's just make it happen.
But this is something that it touches my heart because I own Come On In Incorporation, and
Right.
we go out and feed the homeless and go into nursing homes and do all that stuff. But that missing girl, the missing girl stuff, do you want to expound any on that? And
Yes.
I mean, I don't mind. I mean, that's what the
Right.
audience, they need to hear this.
You know, it's unfortunate, brother, that Native American causes are so far under the radar and they don't get a lot of attention. The Native American as a group have the highest poverty level than any other ethnic group in the country. I mean, it's horrifying. They have the highest drug and alcohol and suicide problem. It's very rare that they'll get an opportunity. I think it's like less than 10% that they'll even go on to have any type of higher education. Huge high school dropout rate. The crime and the situation going on there is just horrendous. And a lot of it has to do with, you know, the tribal areas, especially out here in the plains, are very vast. And they don't have a lot of tribal law enforcement. I mean, one tribal law enforcer has to cover like hundreds of people. I mean, just, you know, it's just incredible. So they need a lot of help. And the way the tribal areas are set up with their stipulations, it's very easy for a predator to go in. And once they leave that tribal area, they're gone. You can't do anything about it unless the government steps in, the federal government. And I know that they have claims of helping, but honestly, I don't know. Sometimes Uncle Sam's slow getting out of bed, dragging his feet. You know, this is a real problem, and we hope that, you know, the government will probably at least give an attempt to try to help in a better way. But it's a horrifying situation. And when I do speaking engagements, I do have a lot of Native women who will come up to me and say, you know, my sister went missing at 17, you know, my daughter, and excuse me, it literally breaks my heart, you know, to think that they're gone and nobody's done anything about it. Nobody knows anything. And so, you know, I know that there's a lot of people that specialize in being able to help with giving money or, you know, getting involved in the government level. But for me, I just go out and I just hands-on frontline teach the self-defense tactics.
What if somebody, other martial artists or other women martial artists, want to say, you know what, Karen, our Grandmaster, how can I be on your team to go out?
Right.
And, you know, is it some contact information you can give them?
Yeah, sure. You know, you can always contact me. As far as needing more help, I have some other Native American master brothers, like David Little's son, some of these others that are actually tribal members that I can't work with. But I've discovered that being female, to go in and work with the females just one-on-one works the best. Yeah. So I usually just go in by myself. But as far as supporting or being able to go into these areas, I financially do this on my own. So I try to find ways to make money to support this cause, which, you know, you talked about my books, or I have other ways of things that I sell to try to make money to provide the support to actually go into these areas and take care of the traveling funds and that kind of thing. But this is just something from my heart. It just almost seemed like a perfect fit that I could do this. Now, obviously, you know.
You don't see it on the screen, but this is closed capture. So if you want to put your number out there, however they can help, just speak. It's on the screen as you speak. So.
Sure. Okay, so I'm all over social media. I think I drive people crazy. Do I drive you crazy, John?
No.
So it's Karen Eden Herdman, and if you go, I also DM, and I have two Facebook groups out. One is called the Eden Assignment Inspirational Series, and it has about 45,000 followers on that group. And that's me coming from the spiritual side of things to try to inspire people, you know, and to challenge people in a very real way to walk the spiritual journey that God has put in front of them. That's the Eden Assignment Inspirational Series. I have another one called Warfare Series, but that's for die-hard religious people, radicals. That's called it the radical group. So I'm not ashamed of being a radical for my belief, brother. I mean, if you can't go all in, you can't be used. You have to go all in. And I've never been ashamed of that. And I am also an ordained Christian chaplain. And so, you know, I use everything that I can to try to help in the causes that I can. I started a street program in 2000 when I moved to Denver. So allow me to back up 1 second. The reason I came to Denver, I'm actually an East Coast girl. I was born in Tennessee and raised in southwestern Virginia in the Blue Ridge Mountain region. And that's where a lot of my Native American comes from, right there. But I got into the broadcasting business, and I actually got a contract with Fox News in Denver in 2000. And that's why I moved to Denver with that contract. And I've since kind of gotten out of the broadcasting side of the business, and I talk about that in the Eden Assignment Inspirational Series. That's why it's called that, because I say I'm taking assignments from a different boss, and I'm on a different assignment altogether. And so that's why I have that Facebook group, and I do a lot of inspirational and spiritual type talks with that. But anyway, when I got the contract with Fox News and I moved out here, and then I got married and I got pregnant right away, and I had my son, who now plays football for Kansas.
He's a big dude.
Yeah, he's very
keep going.
He's very huge. But anyway, so now that we always said, now that he gets back, now that he's grown and in college, we're going to move back east, and I'm hoping to be able to do a lot more of my work with the Native American tribes. But anyway, that's kind of my journey of how I got out here. But I do a lot of talking and a lot of engagements with the Plains Indians. So you have the woodlands on one side of the Mississippi, woodland Indians, and you have the plains out here. And they're totally different journeys and different histories and different backgrounds. And so I try to explain a lot of that. But unfortunately, the crime and the social disparity that they're having affects all of them. So I always say a prayer for me, as I go out, that I'll be able to do the work that God has set before me. But I know I had another thought in mind, but I totally got sidelined with that.
What about you were doing something, teaching in Denver too?
Yes, that's it.
Yeah.
So that's it.
Oh, I wasn't going to let
So
you
when
forget that.
when I came out here, I actually started an inner city martial arts program.
Okay.
And that was in the ghetto of Denver. And I did it through the Salvation Army.
Yes.
And they had the funds to buy all the kids uniforms and belts and things. And it was perfect. What I didn't know was it would get picked up and go all over the world.
Wow.
So the Salvation Army being all over the world, I had instructors from all over the world contact me. So I started a federation called Blood and Fire Federation, which is, a big motto of the Salvation Army, Blood and Fire.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And that program is still going. I have affiliates in Africa, East Europe, and basically I'm not very, I'm not a babysitter with them. I don't care what art it is.
Right.
Any art form, as long as you confess of the Christian faith and you're willing to go in and make a difference in your community, then I put you in the federation and let you do your thing. So that's been a very successful program. I don't know of another program like that in martial arts that goes around the world like that. Wow. But anyway, it started here in Denver, Colorado, and after 20 years now, I have enough black belts under me that will go out in the inner city and actually do the hands-on, and I just teach the instructors and oversee that program. One of my instructors literally was Mr. Ronald Neal. He was homeless and he was an alcoholic, and the Salvation Army has a homeless program. Yes. So they picked him up, and when the police officer picked him up, he said, "You got a choice. I'll take you to jail. I'll take you to the Salvation Army shelter." So he said, "All right, take me to the Salvation Army shelter." And he signed up for my martial arts lessons. This was about 15 or more years ago.
Wow.
And he became gainfully employed, became a black belt, and is one of my long-running instructors now. He teaches in Aurora, Colorado.
Oh, wow.
So, there's a lot of great success stories that came out of that program. And, it's still up and running, but right now I'm focusing a lot on the Native American women causes.
Yes.
So that's, absolutely. What does the Bible say? There's a lot to be harvested, but so few harvesters, So pray that harvesters will have that conviction to go out and do what God wired them to do.
So I know that you said you go out now by yourself. Do you just go here in Denver? Colorado, or are you looking for people that want to, like myself, I'm inspired by, I'm always trying, when I hear something like that, my ears just perk up, and it's a cause.
You mean working with the Native American women?
Yes.
Yeah, no, I go all over the country.
Okay.
I had to kibosh it like everybody else because of COVID. The COVID was a real issue in all tribal areas. I had another one. I was getting ready to go up to the Wampanoag tribe in Massachusetts, and they contacted me and said, "Sorry, it was just the COVID thing. We're not letting anybody in. We're quarantining down." So, I've had to lay low, but I'm still getting the word out about the causes and still raising as much funds as I can, because as soon as I can get back in, I've got 3 tribes right now waiting to have me come in. I just can't because of COVID.
When I was a recruiter, I was an Army recruiter over in Alaska. And I noticed that, whether people tell you or not, they have different categories
Right.
for the military. And I know that, just like you said, the education and everything, say we have to make a 31 to get into the military on the ASVAB test. Well, I believe the Indians, they only had to score something like a 12. I mean, that's just like spell your name and you can get in.
Yeah.
Teach you.
That's a shame.
I never thought of it until you just mentioned it. Man, is that discrimination, or is that just like, they don't even really make them take the test. We cannot not let the Indians in, or the Alaskan Bush people. We cannot not let them in if they scored a 9 or whatever.
Right, and that's interesting because, we do have a lot of Native Americans that go into the military and serve. And if you go to any powwow, the first thing they do is they honor their soldiers who served for the country. They raise the American flag before they raise their tribal flag. Very patriotic people. And I asked one of the Ute chiefs down in Southwest Colorado at the Ute tribe, I said, how could you guys be so patriotic after you know what the Europeans did to your people historically? He said, well, you got to look at it this way. That happened. Moving forward, we have family here now. We have homes here now. We want to protect our people now. And that's why we honor our soldiers. The Vietnam soldiers came back and they gave them a parade. They're very honorable of all their warriors. And a lot of them do serve in whatever capacity that they can serve. And many have given their lives for the United States of America, just like all ethnicities.
Right.
And, I say that, Brother John, and a lot of people think because I'm Native American that, I poo-poo a lot of things. The truth is, I believe that unity is very, very important. And I believe that flag that we fly, in spite of everything, has the blood of my ancestors on it, has the blood of your ancestors on it. Yes. And by the grace of God, it doesn't have your blood on it, because I know you served. Yes. And so if you disrespect that flag, then you're disrespecting your ancestors. And that's the way I take a lot of Native American ideology. But don't get me wrong, my faith is Christian, but their ideology of the way they live their lives is very, very good reasoning and understanding about how you don't waste food. You don't throw anything away on your plate, because if an animal was to give its life so that you can have sustenance, or a vegetable was to produce for your sustenance, shame on you if you throw that food away. So you can ask my family, if I go to a restaurant, I won't even throw a wedge of lemon away. And, they're like, are you serious? I said, I'm serious. It's disrespectful. This fruit produced for me. And Native Americans are so in tune with things of the earth and so grateful for the things of the earth that's their take on how they live their lives. I mean, you talk about fringe. You've seen fringe jackets. People don't realize that fringe, which was a Native American type of wear, comes from being very grateful to the animal that gave its life for you to wear that leather jacket. Wow. So when you move, the fringe will move like a deer. Yeah. And it is just a dance and a thanksgiving for, thank you, dear, for giving your life down that I can have this jacket. So in Native America, everything is about being very grateful for what has been yielded and produced to you to help you sustain.
Because Billy Jack. I remember yes, Robbie Lee, Grandmaster Robbie Lee has the Billy Jack, and he was explaining the same way you were.
He probably heard me say that. That's probably where he got it.
Well, that's why he was moving slowly, and it was shimmering, and it was pretty sharp. But a lot of people don't. A lot of people that know me don't realize that I'm Native American as well.
A lot of African American people are. A lot.
Explain. Go ahead, give yourself about another minute.
Okay.
And then it's a video. Tell them about the video that we're about to see. But I'm gonna step away for just for a moment. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, hi there. So, back in the days of slavery, and keep in mind that Native Americans were the first to be enslaved. That came out of South Carolina. The first slaves were Native Americans. And when they brought them over to Europe and saw how successful slavery was, they started to really think about how they can capitalize on it. So, you know, the Native Americans and the African Americans during that time in our history, in a very dreadful time in our history, they were very much aligned together, and they did intermarry a lot. So it's not out of the question, even though, you know, the African American gene is a very dominant colored gene. It is not uncommon to take a prospective DNA test. Not all of them, but some of them were really good at capturing that DNA and discovering that you may have Cherokee as a predominantly African American. Now, like me, I also have African American, but I look very Native American. I know that, but it's not uncommon because during those times, Native American people, they had a different take on people, the way they look and the color of their skin or whatever, and they were more to embrace this.
Right.
And especially the fact that African Americans and natives were all going through the same tribulation. They were very much getting together at one particular time. So that's just one little part of that history. But it doesn't surprise me at all that you would have Native American, especially if you were born on the eastern side of the country. Doesn't surprise me at all.
Well, you know, when I say something, I usually try to back it up and everything. And I know y'all out there in TV land say, oh, there he go again.
Uh-oh.
But this is actually my grandmother, Miss Emma May Bates. And she is Cherokee Blackfoot Indian.
Mm-hmm.
And somebody says, that's your granddad? No, that's my grandmother. She is Indian. I wanted to show you that's my grandmother.
That So if she's got a woodland tribe and a plains tribe in her, then I'm going to say that she may have the intermarriage may have happened somewhere closer to Oklahoma when they were all forcibly removed.
Because we are from originally Earl, Arkansas.
Okay, so the Cherokee were originally, the Kituwa tribe was relocated to Arkansas before being relocated to Oklahoma.
I'm learning something about my own self.
Yeah, so probably they're called the old Cherokee or the Kituwas, and they were the first to relocate. And so it wouldn't be uncommon to have mixtures of Native American because they were all getting together. And so that would not be out of the question to have both of those, but it would be at the time of after removal if that were to happen.
Y'all see that? Y'all see that? So all my family
I think I'd mess with her. She looks mean.
My mom didn't fall too far off this tree, I'm telling you. But listen, family, now you see all my nieces and nephews and my children. You get to see your great grandmother and all that. So this is Ms. Emma May Bates. This is my mom's mom, and her dad was Creole. So we have a lot in us.
You have a lot. There's a lot going on there.
We have a lot in us, which on my dad's side, my grandmother was half white, half black. So people say, man, who are you for? I'm for a human. That's what I'm for.
I got everything.
I'm for a human. So you can call me whatever. You can call me the mutt or whatever. But we're all the children.
We're all the children of God.
There you go.
And I know a lot of people, because of my talks or whatever, will identify me automatically as Native American, and that's fine. But I do that to help the causes of Native America. I have 14 documented nationalities. I broke the machine. I literally broke the machine. I am a child of God, and just like everybody else. And that's the way I look at people. I don't really care about anything.
Exactly.
Red, yellow, black, or white. I don't care. I look at you as a child of God, and are you on the same journey as me? Are we trying to do what God wired us to do? That's all that should matter to anybody, ever.
Exactly.
That's all that should matter.
Exactly.
I mean, the history of your people, the history of my people is horrifying at a certain time in American history. But you can't let that stop you from your spiritual journey and doing what God called you to do. But it will stop you if you hang on to the past, because the past has nothing good that's going to ever come out of it, because it's the past. So we got to move forward, brother.
Well, I remember when I was in the Army, and then we're going to get to the next segment, but I have to tell this. I had a soldier that his family was KKK.
Mm-hmm.
And he felt the need that because I can talk to anybody. I feel I can anyway. And he said, Sergeant Williams, can I talk to you offline? That's what we call taking your rank off, pretty much, and talk to me like a person, not a soldier to, So he said, so this is something, he said, you're different. I'm like, what do you mean I'm different? He said, you promise you won't get mad if I tell you? I'm like, dude, just tell me whatever. We're just talking buddies right now. And he said, well, I was a KKK, and he explained his family and all that. I said, okay, but you're Army now. You're a soldier now. So what he said is something that stuck with me. He said he never was taught to like blacks. He never was taught to even talk to them and blah, blah, blah. But he said, I showed him that color didn't matter.
Right.
I invited him in my house. I didn't know that at this time that he was KKK or whatever. I invited him to his house. We ate. I mean, we laughed and everything. And he saw that I was trying to get him promoted. And hey, let's go do PT. Let's go airborne. We jumped out of planes together. We did all this stuff together. And about a year into, I never changed on him or whatever. And for him to say that to me, he said, you made me see people in a different light.
Yes.
And he was a young guy. He was like 21 or something, 22, but he was bullheaded, But when he told me that, I was like, wow, I didn't start looking at him any differently because he was whatever. I said, man, if I cut you with a knife, you're going to bleed red.
Yes.
I said, if you cut me, I'm going to bleed red.
And that's what you have to do. That's what we have to do. We've got to forget about the past, brother, all of us, because we're holding ourselves back from the past.
Yes.
And realize today that the love of God can illuminate through everybody.
Yes.
And that's going to be stronger than the color of anybody's skin.
Yes.
Is to have the love of God to change the world. And matter of fact, my video is called What is Love? And so that's a perfect segue into what I'm going to show you. Ladies and gentlemen, I have a TV background. And when I got out, I wanted to produce a documentary on a question that I had in my head all of my life called What is Love? Because I grew up in a situation where I didn't really see a lot of it. It made me wonder, exactly if I were to ask you that question, what would you say love is? And almost everybody I know really doesn't have an answer. What is love? So I went out seeking it, and I talked to some of the elders that were in my Daughters of the American Revolution group that I knew had gone through some challenges. Some of them are in their 90s, and they're on the video. And I asked them that question, and they showed me what love was to the best of their ability. It had nothing to do with kissing or someone being good looking or hot, or it had nothing to do with any of that. I was shocked. So this is about a 10-minute documentary that I would love for people to show, to learn about what is love, and to learn to refocus themselves on their spiritual journey, on how to have the best walk you can with the best love expression that you can. So anytime you're ready, let's go ahead and show this.
Okay, so listen. We're gonna get ready. We're gonna take about a 20-second break. Listen, I gotta readjust the camera. I'm telling you what I'm gonna do.
Don't go nowhere.
Don't go anywhere.
Because he's getting something for a change. He's getting something, and it's very honorable.
She's getting something. But we're going to readjust the cameras so that we can start the video. I want you to pay close attention to the video. This is an outstanding job that was done on this video. I didn't get a chance to see the entire video, but I love what I've seen so far. So y'all give us about 30 seconds. We're going to do some readjustments, and we will be right back.
We'll be right back.
I'm going to put you on a little hold just for a second. We'll be back.
million roses are sold in this country in the name of love. For this assignment, I'm asking a very difficult question. What is love? I found 3 women through their own life's experience who are willing to offer up an answer.
I've had 3 weddings and 2 husbands.
At nearly 90 years of age, Joyce has experienced both love and heartache, but her greatest lesson would have to be patience. At age 19, she married her high school sweetheart Tommy in 1947. The marriage would last only 17 months. As Joyce puts it, her in-laws complicated a marriage that she says she knows today could have easily worked out.
He sold insurance, and one night he came home and I wouldn't let him in, and neither one of us ever figured out what our argument was about. So he went home, and that's when the next day his stepfather went to got a lawyer.
Well, just a lover's spat. It's nothing you can't work out, right?
Right.
Little did Joyce know, it would be 20 years before she would ever see him again.
And I was in Cheyenne to see my parents, and I was walking down the street and ran into him on the street, which was kind of a shock.
But whatever hearts and butterflies they may have felt between one another during that perchance encounter, it was too late. Both Tommy and Joyce were long remarried by then with their own families. It would be almost another 30 years later when they would become reconnected by friends. Both of them now well in their 70s, and ironically, both of them widowed. Joyce and Tom would remarry for the second time. Even in your 70s, you found him attractive?
Oh, yes. Even the way we looked in our 70s.
He still found you attractive. You were still his girl.
Right.
But it would be short-lived. Tom would succumb to cancer just 5 years later. Joyce says she felt like she lost him all over again, but that she is grateful for the wonderful short years they finally had together. You know, in my opinion, Joyce's true act of love wasn't that she finally reconnected with her first love. It's that she honored her covenant. She stayed with her second marriage and raised her family until the time was right for her to finally reconnect with her first love. After all, love is patient. But what if you were married and then everything changes by a diving accident? That's what happened to Lil and Chuck during celebrations of their 13th wedding anniversary to the date.
He dove into a swimming pool, and they don't think he hit the bottom, but it was a shallow pool.
It was 1978. Chuck was just being Chuck, goofing off in the swimming pool with the kids. It would be a life-altering event. After he was taken to the hospital, Lil got the news later that evening. Chuck was a quadriplegic.
The nurse told him that don't count on your wife staying with you because they usually leave.
Statistics show that 98% of spouses will leave their significant other with a medical diagnosis of quadriplegia. But not Lil. 38 years later, she says she is so grateful that she did not let the bad times define what her marriage really was, because she says her marriage has been good in spite of the physical challenges her husband still faces, and for that, she says she's very grateful.
Every morning we wake up and we're blessed. We're just thankful for everything we got.
You know, a little story really warms my heart because it lets me see that if you just hang in there, things will eventually work themselves out. They're just happy to have each other. After all, love does bear all things, but bearing all things does not come natural. It's a hard lesson that has taken Irene a lifetime to learn. She has been married and divorced 8 times. How, you might ask? To understand the answer to that question, you would have to go all the way back to the beginning.
I think part of the problem came from the fact that when I was a teenager, I was molested. And I think that my trust in men was already very weak. I always questioned how much I could trust a man after that happened.
Molested from the age of 5 by 2 different family members, it would be years before Irene would face those demons. And in the meantime, her relationships with men would compile into one disaster after another. The majority of her marriages would last only a couple of years at most. And she says many times she was already contemplating her next relationship before the last one was finally over.
if I had worked at it and just loved someone a little bit longer, that it would grow into a different stage of love. But I never let it get past that first stage of attraction and just being comfortable and wanting to be with that person. I didn't make it last long enough to really.
Fear of abandonment was a great motivator for Irene. Her first marriage was at age 18 when she was then pregnant with her first child. For the next several decades, Irene would repeat the cycle of marrying out of the fear of being alone and then abandoning the marriage out of her lack of trust and self-worth.
By then, being married so many times even made it harder for me to love myself. And I could never understand why these women or why these men loved me, because I really by then didn't feel lovable.
Today, at age 64, Irene is single, and she says learning on a daily basis how to feel lovable. She says she is finally at peace with being single, and she offers up some hard-earned advice to other women out there who may have struggled with love as she has.
I do believe you have to love yourself first. I really do. And I think if you don't, it's hard to make any other kind of love work.
I really appreciate Irene telling her story. Through her own heartache and experience, she's here to say, listen, if you don't love yourself first, you really can't love anybody else. I'm Karen Eden. That's my assignment. I'll see you next time.
Okay, we are back. We are back. We are back. Hey, listen, I told you we wanted to. Give me just a second here. Let me fix this. Boom. We there. Okay, so now I can use my microphone. I love using my microphone. Y'all hear me better? I thought you could. Listen. So we wanted Miss Eden to come, Miss Herdman to come today because I wanted you to see person that's truly deserving of these awards that we give out. Everybody know that we do the Presidential Lifetime Achievement Awards, and those awards are not to be given just like a pancake. Hey, this free at IHOP, come and get this. No, it's not designed for that. So we, I wanted to bring somebody on while we were going to do it live. We're going to do this live today in front of everybody. How about that? So, there we go. I had to make sure, everything is going correct. Hey, y'all stop worrying out there. We haven't been on but 43 minutes. And I said this the hour, elite hour. So y'all, I still got a few seconds. But listen, Karen, before we even go into our next thing that we're about to do, y'all hang with us about 5 minutes. That's all we need, 5 or 10 minutes. Tell us about they call me Master.
Okay, sure. All right, so this is, ladies and gentlemen, I have 4 books out. This is my latest book called They Call Me Master. It is Martial Arts Philosophy, and it's available through Century Martial Arts. And it is basically taking everyday life experiences and turning them into stories from a martial arts perspective. But I know people, my doctor has a copy and he loves it. If you really enjoy reading inspirational writings, I think that you'll really enjoy this. I do take a cut of my proceeds and I give it back to my Native American causes. So They Call Me Master, and it's available at Century Martial Arts. You can go to centurymartialarts.com and pick up a copy of that particular book. And my other books that are out there, you can just Google me and you'll see them come up. So thank you for letting me take that time to say that.
And there's another book out there that was inspired by They Call Me Master. And that book is no other than, listen. That book is Dr. John Williams, More Than a Martial Artist. Now, you probably say, now, why did you put your book up there? Where's my show now? How about that?
That's it. It's your
No,
show.
I actually was reading that book, and you'll see some similarity if you were to read this book. with they called me master. So what I did is I just began to start reading, and those books started inspiring me to write. And this is my first book. I've never written one, never even thought about, but I wanted to do I wanted to write a book called From Dummy to Doctor, because everybody know my history of being illiterate up until the age of 23, and how God took me and made me who I am and educated me. But it's another book that we both share, the Changing Lives series, the Ernie Reyes book, where you're also in this book. Right. And so am I. You're in here somewhere. Yeah, I know that you're in here, and so am I. So when you Google our names or Google her name, because I want this to be all about her today, and she has an Indian chief. I want you to tell us a little bit about Chief Marshall.
Okay, absolutely. Chief Marshall Lone Wolf Couch. He is the chief of the Appalachian Cherokee Nation, which I'm a member of. This is a 501(c)(3) group. It is not a federally recognized group, which is another talk for another time. But anyway, this is for the Native Americans, the Cherokees, who actually hid in the Appalachian Mountains. And the tribe itself has been around, I believe, since the 1930s. And he's getting up there now. And his health is not as good as it could, not as good as when you're younger, I guess is the best way to put it. And so very appreciative of him, because he spent a lot of his own time and money with the Appalachian Cherokee Nation. He's actually my cousin, which is not in common with Cherokee people in that part of the world. Right. They all come from Amoya Moitoi is the head chief. A lot of them descend out of him. So his Cherokee lineage is out of the eastern Kentucky part, which is mine as well. But he's done so much work, and I'm one of his Native American educators that goes out. And there were many who preceded before me, but that's who Chief Marshall Lone Wolf Couch is. And if you don't mind me saying, I know that you wanted to give him an award for his work with the Appalachian Cherokee Nation and all the Cherokee people. And when I told him that, he actually cried on the phone, and I've never heard him cry before. So he was very, very touched. You know, Native American people, they don't get a lot of honor. Exactly. And they're very forgotten a lot of times and under the radar. So I will be taking this up when I go to South Carolina. I'm going to actually drive up to Virginia and take this to him and do a big, have the mayor present it and have the TV crews out there to cover it. And I'll send you a copy of that.
Well, since she said she's going to take it up to him, and I know many of y'all saying, well, what is she going to take to him? Well, Karen, on the behalf of, if y'all just forgive my walking around and all that for just a moment, and I'm situated. And
a butt shot.
Look. Hey, listen, we switched seats, so she took the main seat and I just took the seat. You know, I don't mind, but we wanted to make sure, because when I heard about Chief Marshall Lone Wolf Couch, she Karen said, what can we do for him? I said, wow, let's do something for him. If he's doing all that, and he's, you know, you always have a leader somewhere, and it's not about him, but his legacy. When he's going on, who's going to pick the mantle up and keep it going? And I know that you're doing a lot as well. But so we worked on some things, and I don't know if you ever created anything with Miss Karen or not, but let me tell you.
I'm a pain in the butt.
Let me tell you. John, I think that name, John changed that. I said, you know what? I'm not going to tell her about the finished product. I'm just going to finish it and show it to her later. No, but that is what we do, y'all. That's come on in. Come on in where the door is always open. We're not a boxed in. You can't box us in and say, oh, you should only do it that way, this way. We do the way that we are led by the Spirit of God to do. It's so many people that hate on us for the stuff that we do, but we're only trying to make life better for people, one person at a time. Right. So with the school and everything we do and the awards that we do, I wanted, and this is not just me, Chief Marshall Lone Wolf Couch, this was not just me. It was a team effort by one of your own, Ms. Karen, and myself, and we got together. She sent what she had in her head, and I put what little empty space I had in my head together, and we came up with this award. And I want to publicly live present it to Miss Karen. I had put on my extra eyesight. So this is the Chief Marshall Lone Wolf Couch Humanitarian Award. This was created in his honor. So it's in recognition of your dedication to your community, tribe, and state. Come On In Incorporation would like to honor you with this said named award to be presented in your honor in recognition of your outstanding lifetime achievements. In testimony where the undersigned have subscribed their names and affixed the official seal of this institution, which has Come On In. We have placed the official seal, and we have placed the award, but I want them to see the award. This is the official award for Chief Lone Wolf. I say Lone Wolf because I'm thinking of Lone Wolf McQuaid that I was just watching Chuck Norris the other day. Yeah, I was watching Chuck Norris the other day. But please send him from the bottom of our heart. This was done in detail, and we just didn't do this overnight. We didn't.
I know it took a while.
Yes. So I hope that the tribe and everybody that comes after him appreciate this. But that's not all that we wanted to do. Let me, I'm gonna pull it up here just so you guys can see that it was done. This is in his honor. This is in his honor. So we wanted to appreciate him, but she's also going to receive for him the lifetime. And this is what it's all about, y'all. This is what it's all about. This is the Lifetime Achievement Award that is going to be presented to him as well. Let me get my glasses. This is from the Presidential Lifetime Achievement Award. That is what this award is. With grateful recognition, the AmeriCorps and the Office of the President of the United States honors Chief Marshall Lone Wolf Couch with the President's Lifetime Achievement Award for their lifelong commitment to building a stronger nation through volunteer service. Signed by the President of the United States of America, President Joseph R. Biden Jr.
Wow.
2021 awarded.
Wow.
To him.
Thank you so much.
To Chief.
Thank you. Thank you. And I would just like to say, on behalf of the tribe, this will all go into the tribal hall.
Wow.
And this will be presented with honors and hang on the wall for generations to come.
And also, he will be, whether he wants to wear it himself, but I wish he would wear this.
Oh, I'll put it on him.
Thank you. He will receive the medallion that we wear as recipient of that Lifetime Achievement Award.
Yes, sir. I'll make sure that the mayor presents this in Virginia.
And I also have his Lifetime Achievement pin.
Okay.
So whenever you walk around or wherever he goes, he will also have that. But he's good. He's doing his thing. But sometimes there's always an apple that falls right next to the tree. Sometimes it's just that best apple on the tree. So with that being said, when you present someone an award in their honor, and it's named in their honor, you also find a person that is doing just like that person would want them to do. So with that being said, I want to present this an award. This person didn't even know they was getting this. This is the Chief Marshall Lone Wolf Couch Humanitarian Award. This is an official award now because it is sealed. And we have our official stamp on there. It's detailed once again. It has the 4 matching ribbons for that. But Miss Karen Eaton Herdman, in recognition of your dedication to your community, tribe, and state, come on in, would like to honor you with the first ever Chief Lone Wolf Couch Humanitarian Award, presented in recognition of your outstanding lifetime achievement. Same words before and testimony thereof on the sign have subscribed their names and affixed the seal to this 30 August 2020 or 21st of 2021. I'm sorry. Understand that Cherokee Nation was established 1514, I believe. That's what I read on it. Okay, see, y'all know I did the original 1514. See, I did my homework before she came in. I'm glad she didn't ask me any questions, but on behalf of Come On In Incorporation, me being the founder CEO, I present you with the very first Chief Marshal Lone Wolf Couch Humanitarian Award.
That is just beautiful, John. And on behalf of the tribe, I want to thank you for honoring our chief and for honoring me. And I didn't know I was going to get this, so I'm truly honored. And I know that a lot of time and work went into this, and I want to thank you so very, very much. But while we're on the subject of
oh, wait, there's more.
What?
Can I finish? see, huh? See.
I'm shocked.
But it was some time ago. I think we were in South Carolina, and most of the time, in order to receive the Presidential Volunteer Service Award, we make sure that you receive the Presidential Gold Award. Now, Miss Herdman here, she has over 5,000 volunteer hours. Yes. Over 5,000. Yes. So y'all say, well, anybody get those awards? No, not just anybody get these. Yeah. Because when you try to tabulate 5,000 volunteer hours, you are doing probably over 150 a month or something like that. And that takes some years to do. Yeah. Because if you turn in a paper and say you do 300 hours a week, we know you're lying then. We know you're lying. You don't even work overtime. You can't even have a job if you do that many. Right. So it's tabulated, and we do track your hours in order to get this. And at one time, we were allowing people to, also behind that letter, please let him know that letter is the official letter. And the way you would know that it's official, because the seal is gold and you can touch the gold seal. And if it's blue, you'll know somebody copied the letter. Right. So sometimes when we fill them out, the hours are in there somewhere. It may not be correct, but you'll know that it's over 4,000. Oh, yeah. Because it takes 4,000 hours to receive this award. Right. But on the behalf of the White House, and I always say the White House, because some people don't like whatever president's in there. So I just say the White House, so because he probably had Miss Susie to sign it anyway. So whoever, but this is signed by the President of the United States. I was just joking. But Lifetime Achievement Award is awarded with grateful recognition. The American Corps of the Office of the President of the United States honors Miss Karen Eaton Herdman with the Presidential Lifetime Achievement Award for their lifelong commitment to building a stronger nation through volunteer service. Joseph R. Biden Jr., President 2021, awarded. Wow, I'm honored. Congratulations.
Thank you so much, sir. I'm honored.
And since she is here live and in living color, she will get the medallion placed on her neck, which she is free to wear this anytime, any place. Wow. And it is a conversation piece, because when I go to present these, I usually have on the pin and the ribbon, just so I can be seen, so somebody can say, what is that? And I just say, stay tuned and you'll find out.
Wow.
That's really nice medal.
Thank you so much. I'm truly honored. And ladies and gentlemen, I started doing volunteer service to get over 5,000 hours as a very young girl. And a lot of it was through my church, and a lot of it was through the community. But anyway, I never in my lifetime thought that I would receive something like this for that. I did it because God said to do it.
Yeah.
God said we have to serve
was
and love
nice.
other people. So to be honored from the highest office of the White House, it really means a lot to me.
Yes.
And even though I wasn't expecting it, I want to say thank you so much for the honor. I'm truly touched. Truly touched. Thank you, sir.
You have a lot of people on Facebook shooting out the heart, saying congratulations, congratulations. Understand this is being filmed live on 4 Facebook different channels as well as YouTube and Instagram. So it's out there today.
Okay, well, if you don't mind, I would like to present to you, Brother John, something from the tribe, and this came straight from the chief to do this. In Native America, in warriorship, only the warriors are allowed to wear a certain type of bone choker and breastplate.
Wow.
And it looks like this.
Wow.
And a lot of people wear these that shouldn't be wearing these. But if you really wear these, it means that you have already proven your warriorship.
Wow.
And this is the breastplates can go all the way down, but this one covers the most vulnerable part of the area of the body, you know, right here. It protects you right under the throat.
Right.
And so for the chief to give you this bone choker is him saying that we consider you a warrior of our chief for your service and for your humanity and recognizing people and helping those who have been underprivileged. So at this time, I would like to place this bone choker upon you as an honor from the Appalachian Cherokee
so
Nation.
So they can see it. Wow.
And yeah, I know you had no idea you were going to get this either.
No.
I figured you didn't need another plaque.
Wow. Wow.
But this is what the Appalachian Cherokee Nation would award anyone who they consider to be a warrior.
Wow.
And so, yes, brother, when you see other people wear this, if they know if they got it officially, it's because it was awarded by the tribe, and that is the case for you. And we consider you a warrior.
Wow.
And of deep appreciation for not only your service in the military, but for your work in humanitarian and community work that you do. And that protects that part of your throat. Everything's reverse video here.
Can I scoot up a little closer so
Absolutely.
they can see it?
It looks
I
good
want
on
you guys to see that. This is the necktie, but this is my
bone choker.
Bone choker. Wow. This is beautiful. As y'all can see, I really don't know how to accept awards or
Whoops.
it's okay. I really look, Grandma, I'm making you proud. I'm just saying.
There you go.
And this is special because I have my grandmother picture right here and receiving this award, and I know that they went through some stuff.
And if you have any ancestry of Native American, and you are of Native American descent, you should honor your ancestors because I promise you they suffered.
Yes.
I promise you they suffered. And the fact that you're still here is out of their grit, determination, and pure love because they deserve their honor, which is a lot of the reason why I do what I do, because I do want to honor them for their ability and to be heard. You know, I was just coming down from where I live in Arapahoe County, John, and I have to go through the Black Forest, and people don't know that it's an extremely sacred area to the Cheyenne and Ute Native Americans out here. And you can tell that because the trees in the Black Forest have been culturally modified or manipulated where the areas are sacred. And that happens to be right where they put a park and a big housing development. But I see a lot of these things, and I could go there and get very upset about how, you know, these people who were here 20,000 years, some of them before the Europeans arrived, were so mistreated and you know, enslaved and murdered or you know, dislocated, forcibly removed. But again, we're called to be higher and greater than that. And we're called to be of service to mankind, red, yellow, black, or white. And we're called to make a difference in this world because the truth is life is short for everybody. And the honors that I've received today and on behalf of my tribe, I really want to say thank you because, again, I tell you, Native American people don't get a lot of honor. And it really means a lot. And I know he was already touched when I told him. So he'll be so honored to receive these things in person. But, the bottom line is if we're going to come together, we're going to have to learn how to forgive and move forward in a spiritual way. And that is my goal. And I know that's your goal too. And we're on the same journey. So thank you so much for everything that you do, brother. Appreciate it so much.
Thank you. And on behalf of Come On In Incorporation and LA Expos, and now our new, even though she's my adjutant, oh wow, Dr. No, I'm still trying to,
Somebody got some coffee.
I'm not used to I'm not used to receiving such a
That looks
high
really
honor.
good on you.
It does. It does.
Looks really good.
And I was gonna ask, where can I wear it? I mean, when, but she might see it more often than any.
You can wear it like that, actually.
Wow.
You can wear it like that, yes.
Well, on behalf of us and Dr. Cornelius Murphy House, she just starting up working with young girls and stuff out in Las Vegas area. You met her, Mike. Yes. She just started her program, Three Marias, and I want to connect you two because we want to start helping out however we can with the. I'm telling you, she's on fire, and I'm not going to send you anybody that's going to be a hindrance to you. Absolutely. This woman will be a help to you, and I know she don't mind me saying that. But she's also, we're also wanting to continue to, I know we sponsored a couple of 3-4 books when we were in Texas,
right?
But tell the people how, because like I said, it's a capture and they'll be able to see it on the information on the screen of how they can support this organization in helping raise funds because the books are not even expensive at all. And I was like, okay, they just said $20 for a book or two or whatever. What's that going to feed? But I remember any amount helps. So I'll let you tell them, and then we'll get ready to end the segment. But I want, this is once again, Chief Couch. Thank you to the entire tribe. We really put effort into making this award. I'll try to make it the best we can make it. And if you have any others that need that recognition, we just wanted to make sure that you received the first one.
Absolutely.
You get me the names and we will make sure, and then wherever you're at, it can be an ongoing theme.
Okay, absolutely. Okay, well, my name again is Karen Eden Herdman. I am on social media on Facebook, and my email address is Karen Eden, EDEN, at CenturyLink.net, CENTURI, CenturyLink.net. And I'll be glad to give you my phone number. I don't have a problem with your audience. It's 720-394-8408, or John knows how to get a hold of me. And if you know of anybody who would like to financially sponsor those of us who actually go out into the tribal areas as far as expenses and traveling expenses, we're taking care of this on our own right now. We're not getting any type of sponsorship for this. Please let us know, and please get in touch with us. And I do have 4 books out. They're available online. If you Google Karen Eden or Master Karen Eden or Karen Eden Herdman, it'll all come up. I keep Karen Eden. I was actually established as a writer before I got married, which is why, and I was already established as a TV personality. So I'm known as Karen Eden, and a lot of my stuff is still out there as Karen Eden. I have 2 product lines through Century Martial Arts, and I do try to work as much as I can with getting the proceeds, with their permission, to be able to go forward and make a difference in the community. And I know they've been working with me on that. Let's see, I thank you for your support, and I appreciate your prayers. And as scary as the world is today, brother, we got to keep doing good things. Listen, don't wall up and fold your wings in. Keep doing everything that you can do to make a difference in this world. And God promises He'll take care of you and your needs if you first seek the kingdom of God and take care of other people. But thank you so much, sir.
Once again, everybody, thank you. Give the shout out to Miss Karen once again, and to all that she's doing. And I'm going to find out more information about the tribes that you are dealing with. And I tell you, a lot of people right now are focused on what happened at the Capitol, at the White House, what happened at the over in Afghan and Iraq and Africa and all. as you can see today, we have problems right here in America.
Yes.
The same thing
Yes.
that's happening over there, and you sending money and you really don't know sometime where it's going. You'll know where your money is going when you invest here.
Yes.
You know, Donald Trump said, invest in America, America first. Okay. We just spent an hour and 2 minutes talking about the Indian tribes the women that's being swooped out, 3 Marias dealing with people that has been swooped out of Las Vegas and all of that. And here we can help some of these people. We can't help everybody, but you know, if we can just save one, if we can just save one at a time, we can do our job. So we're not looking to be the American Police Department or anything like that. But if we know that we can submit, you know, nickel, dime, or whatever to
Right.
you, and you're traveling to go and help these people, I think that that's a great cause. And listen, she said it when we were in Texas, we sold a lot of books and did a lot of things. But listen, that need is still ongoing. So if you want to donate $20, $50, or whatever you want to donate, feel free. Feel free, because that is every penny count, you know, every penny count. So I know you saw on the scrolling and you got her name and number and everything. So with that being said, let's make America better,
Yes.
one person at a time.
Yes. And
Any last word?
it starts with the community, brother. We can get overwhelmed with the nation and the world, but listen, if we can do one part to make a difference in our own community, there's needs right where you are. You're doing God's work and you're doing what you're supposed to do. So let's start even with the community and try to help out.
Many blessings to each and every person. Thank you. Once again, this is Dr. J. Will with the Elite on the Street, even though I'm in the studio with Grandmaster Champion.
Champion's good.
Champion.
I did win.
Chaplain.
I won some.
And now the Presidential Lifetime Achievement Award recipient. So whichever title you want to give her, we just thank you for coming. This is Dr. J. Will with the Elite on the Street. Once again, please share this video, share this on your Facebook, share it. You know I will. I'm gonna repost. Somebody needs to hear this. There's somebody out there that's willing to help the 3 Marias and Miss Eden, Miss Herdman, so that we can change lives out there. Thank you. We're getting out of here. I'm gonna go drink my Mountain Dew so I can get some energy. And I'm still shocked at this. I don't know when I'm gonna take it off, but you know,
it looks good on you, brother.
But y'all can't even see it because it blends in with my outfit. But this means a lot to me. Thank you. Please send our love to Chief and all the people in the tribe, and let them know that they have somebody that's trying to get the word out about what's going on.
Thank you, sir. God bless you guys.
Bless you. We will see you later, and thank you for tuning in.